Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Jerry Cooey.
I'm Deborah Nelson.
And as you can see, we have our flag out here today because we want to say a special thanks to our veterans at the taping of this show.
Yes.
It's Veterans Day, and you know, not only those serving, their family members, their support people, for all the things that they do for us.
Yes.
So that to keep us safe, and so that you and I can have a TV show and talk about stuff.
And we don't have a knock on the door in the middle of the night and disappear.
Yeah, you know, it's just marvelous. The people that decide to serve in the military, certainly, you know, I give them
it's not easy.
I give them a big salute, and appreciate what they do. Kind of a little thing that I do if I see somebody in uniform somewhere, you know, make a point to, you know, walk up to them and just thank them. You know, it means a lot to those that serve in the military, and we want to keep them in our mind.
Yes.
We recently had a hurricane, Deborah.
Did we? Did you stock up on canned food? And get the generator out?
You know, it's a different perspective for me. After going through Hurricane Ivan, it just takes a whole lot to get me excited about the wind blowing anymore.
Yes, exactly.
You know,
and there wasn't much wind.
No, you know, all indicators were that it wouldn't be anything but a little bit of wind and mainly a lot of rain. And certainly I understand, you know, our statewide EOC and local EOC county, you know, they have to man up, you know, just to make sure. But it was kind of humorous because, you know, the grocery store parking lots were full.
Yes.
The gas stations were full, you know, and I guess better safe than sorry, you know. But you know, it's much to do about nothing. To be quite honest,
fortunately.
Yeah. But you know, like I said, and of course you too, as a veteran of Hurricane Ivan.
Yes.
I don't know when
the bar was set pretty high.
When it gets to 140 miles an hour, I'll start worrying a little bit.
Well, it's funny because after Ivan, of course, we had Dennis, and by that time, our family was actually up at my father-in-law's house in Allentown.
Right.
We were actually out on the porch just watching the trees fall during Dennis. It was so fast.
Well, you know,
it was entertaining.
I guess we'll have a little relive a little bit of Ivan. My house points north, and you know, things were clicking along there pretty good. But at about 12:30, there was 3 distinct, very large cracking sounds in the backyard. And I told my wife, I said, you know, I'm gonna have to stick my head out and make sure if there's something that I can fix so it doesn't do any further damage, you know. So I eased out of the front door and I eased down the side of the house, and it was just I've since Hurricane Camille 1969, I have purposely gone outside in the teeth of the storm every hurricane we've had, and Ivan was just above and beyond. It was like the jet stream.
Oh yeah.
It was kind of there was wind low, but there was a high wind that was just unbelievable. And during that little short period of time, a microburst apparently had come down, lopped off 2 very large trees, the top out of another pretty large tree, and
uprooted them.
Then shortly after that, I could see the shingles on the windshields of my car. So it was a long night, to say the least. But I'm glad apparently the report from the county EOC, there was about maybe 7 roads that were unpassable for a little while, and
It wasn't much.
So what wasn't too
I went
bad.
up Hamilton Bridge, and it was usually even a little rainstorm. There's a section right after the bridge that floods immediately, and there was nothing there.
Right. So I think everybody made it through safe
Yes.
and sound, you know, and of course it made
We
it
got a little something this year.
made it a little difficult to. Well, there's 2 dogs at my house, and one dog inclement weather really doesn't bother the little dog. You know, you just take her outside and she handles things. My other dog, on the other hand, the big dog, she will look out the back door and 6 drops of rain have hit the deck. She
Yes.
doesn't want to go
Right.
outside.
Yeah, they'll stick their head out and just sniff, delicately sniff.
Oh, right. And of course, we wanted to let you guys know, Deborah and I, we took a much-needed break the last 2 shows, and we ran a couple reruns. Hope you don't mind. We picked out a couple good ones
Couple
there.
classics.
We hope you enjoy that. It's you know, we got to thinking about it. I told Deborah, I said, I need a break, and I didn't realize how much I needed a break. You know, ladies and gentlemen, you know, you wouldn't think it for a little 30-minute show, but a lot of research goes into this. A lot of times we're asking for public records and making inquiries, and you know, although as Deborah said many times, it's like shooting fish out of a bucket. It's not too hard to get the
A
story.
lot of times we don't have to work at it at all. It just lands in our laps.
It just takes a little time to put them together, and we hope you don't mind. We took a little break. Now, in the show before the 2 reruns, we were discussing the state attorney's report.
Yes.
That finally came out after a few years, and me having to tell on them to the governor to even get them to look at anything. And so I've got three or four more items that we need to go across. One of the allegations that was made was that there was an illegal meeting at the University of West Florida. Of course, everybody denied that, and that's fine. One thing that was interesting in the report, ladies and gentlemen, and understand this was according to the state attorney's office, was never an investigation. It was only an inquiry. And
Right.
One thing in the report that caught my eye, it says that Hunter Walker was present at the University of West Florida meeting and has testified that he did not witness any such meeting. Well, there's a word there that jumped out at me. Testified. And I'm going to ask that question. As a matter of fact, ladies and gentlemen, I have to schedule the appointment, but I have requested to see all notes, all documentation, because, honest to goodness, and let me get off track here just a minute. I think it's pretty insulting by the state attorney's office to send me a press release. We were told by the state attorney's office that when they made their decision, that those of us who had participated in it would be called in to go over the information. That's not what happened. They disrespected us and sent us the press release at the same time they sent it to the press.